What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for a Wrestlemania Backlash review for May 16th, 2021. This show was a 6-match card. One that I really wish they would have kept off the card or put it on the goddamn pre-show because, yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that when it comes up because, my goodness, who fucking thought that was a good idea? Oh, here's probably a 72-year-old senile old fuck who thought it was a good idea. Well, that's neither here nor there right now. So, we started on the pre-show. Sheamus came out to a non-title open challenge, which Sheamus has been putting these open challenges on for about since he won the title. None have been for the championship. As he has mentioned before, he's not like everyone else. You've got to earn a title shot from him. He's not just going to give you one. You have to earn it. Which I find it funny how every time he has his open challenge off and I watch Brian Alvarez or I watch JD or I watch Solid Monster, everyone thinks that these are fucking title matches when clearly they are not title matches. Get it through your fucking heads already. Sheesh. But either way, he makes his challenge. He says open challenge. I was like, oh, please don't let it be Dumberto. Don't let it be Mansoor, who's only had one match, by the way. No, it's Ricochet, who looks like a guy who forgot his gear and only had his jacket because he comes out with jeans, a belt, and his jacket on. I'm like, wow, okay, so I guess this is Ricochet for you. Now, this was a good match for what it was. I mean, what do you expect? Ricochet is fucking fantastic at what he does. But, my boy. How do you think Sheamus won this match? Because, of course, Sheamus was winning. He's the fucking United States champion. You're not going to have him lose to Ricochet, who hasn't done a damn thing in months, let alone a year. Was it the bro kick? Was it the white noise? It was a fucking raising knee lift. He hit him with a knee lift into the face and pinned him. After Ricochet dodged a bro kick and rolled him up for a 2 count. A fucking knee lift. When does Ricochet's contract come up? Asking for multiple different federations that could probably use his talents, because we all know this dude is not going to be used in WWE. How could you fuck, and we say this all the time, how could you fuck a guy like Ricochet up? The guy looks like $1 million. The guy could be a world champion if WWE gave him the opportunity. He gave AJ Styles 2 world title matches and 2 world title runs. One being the longest in the last, 4 or 5 years. So, especially long as since CM Punk held the championship for 400 and some days. Give this guy a shot. He is better than just coming out here on the pre-show, having a nothing match, and getting beat not even by one of his finishers, but a fucking knee lift. So, after the match, Sheamus puts his jacket and his hat back on. He starts talking about the recent open challenges, but Ricochet attacks from behind, drops him. He rips off his hat and jacket. Sheamus retreats to the floor as Ricochet poses and dances around. Sheamus storms back in. Ricochet runs away, and that was that. So, we might see a continuation of this tomorrow, just because that's what WWE likes to do. More embarrassing Ricochet because Vince McMahon doesn't like Vince McMahon doesn't like little guys. That's all there is to it. So that was the pre-show. We go to the opening contest on the main card. Asuka versus the Sharbot 9000 versus Rhea Ripley Raw Women's Championship match. Now, you're wondering, why is this a triple threat match? Why is Charlotte in here? Why couldn't you give us a WrestleMania rematch? Which, by the way, the show's called WrestleMania Backlash. We had 6 matches on the main card. Can you tell me how many of those are rematches from WrestleMania directly? That's a big fat 0. Here's the thing, Vince. You can put WrestleMania on the pay-per-view. Doesn't make it WrestleMania. Doesn't make it a continuation of WrestleMania. Yes, I know you had Damian Priest versus The Miz. You had Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, but they want the tag team match and they want the singles match at WrestleMania. Same thing with this. It wasn't a singles match. It was a triple threat match with Charlotte added in. So why was this made into a triple threat match? Well, simple. Asuka was taking the pinfall from either Charlotte Flair or Rhea Ripley, and you don't want to protect your champion, and you want to protect Miss Charlotte, because Charlotte refuses, and I mean this wholeheartedly, refuses to put over younger talent. When Io Shirai won the NXT Women's Championship last year at In Your House, who did she pin? She didn't pin Charlotte Flair, she pinned Rhea Ripley. Who should have taken the pinfall of that match? Charlotte Flair. Who took the pinfall? Of course, it was Rhea Ripley. So, who's going to take the pinfall in this match? It sure as hell ain't going to be Charlotte Flair, and it sure as hell ain't going to be Rhea Ripley. It was going to be Asuka. And that's a damn shame, because Asuka is fucking phenomenal in the ring. And then I read something on social media that really wanted me to just reach through my screen and knock somebody out. They literally said that Asuka and Rhea Ripley are no good. And that Charlotte's I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Asuka, the baddest woman on the planet, who had an undefeated streak for over, 900 days, held the NXT Women's Championship for over 500 days, was absolutely one of the baddest women to come into NXT, only to be outdone in badassness by Shayna Baszler. Yeah, she's no fucking good. Please. I would love to have him go up to them and tell them that to their face. So, you had Charlotte Flair in her Chick-fil-A cow attire. Seriously. People want to say, oh, she was Cruella de Vil, whatever. But when she's wrestling a match, she looked more like the Chick-fil-A cow than Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil did not wear polka dots and look like Dalmatians on her fucking attire, dumbasses. So, yeah. We had this match, just all four women going out there. They did bust their asses. They did make this a better match than I thought it was going to be, because Charlotte Flair brings everything down. But Rhea Ripley, and honestly, it did feel like Charlotte Flair was just there. She didn't add to the match. She actually didn't take away from the match because of how good Asuka and Rhea is getting. Rhea's not there yet, but she's getting there. So, Asuka counters Riptide and goes for the Asuka lock, but Ripley fights off. They keep fighting, but Flair comes in and levels Rhea with a big boot. Asuka with the Asuka lock on Flair now. Flair rolls through to get the kick in the corner as Asuka blocks the figure four. Asuka kicks Flair, which that figure four kickoff, because she was going for it, she get kicked in the butt and goes forward. That was the weakest version of that I have ever seen. Asuka hit her, and Charlotte just slowly goes to the corner and slowly bounces off the fucking turnbuckle, because Charlotte doesn't like to sell for anybody. Asuka sends Flair to the apron and goes for the hip attack, but runs into a boot, which knocks Flair to the floor. Ripley immediately follows up with the Riptide for the 1, 2, 3, and Rhea Ripley is your winner. Now, I was so expecting Charlotte Flair to come out on top, so I get this one wrong, even though in my heart I wanted Rhea Ripley to win. Rhea Ripley should hold the title till SummerSlam, but knowing WWE's booking, don't have her lose it at Hell in a Cell, which is in June, actually, this year, not October. I don't know when they're doing Money in the Bank. People are expecting Money in the Bank to be in July, which apparently WWE is going to hold fans in attendance for July, the middle of July July, for the 18th, 19th, and whatever it is, the 16th and the 19th, or whatever. But yeah, the weekend of Hell in a Cell, they're supposed of whatever the July pay-per-view is going to be, is when they're going to hold fans for the Smackdown, the pay-per-view, and the Raw after. So, WWE getting back on the road, or having fans at least somewhere in July. Gee, I wonder why that is. They were supposed to be coming out and going on the road in August. SummerSlam's supposed to be the kickoff back to the road. Wonder why they want to start hosting fans a month early. Can't be the fact that AEW decided to go back to fan touring in 2 months. They're going back in July, right? Yeah. July. So, Rhea Ripley wins. Of course, Charlotte's not happy on the floor. She'll probably whine and complain and bitch like she does every time when we get to the pay-per-view. Get to Monday Night Raw. So, John Morrison and the Clown, Miz. Both the clowns are backstage. Miz isn't happy about tonight's Lumberjack match. Morrison says he's figured it out. He's going to talk to the Lumberjacks and convince them that he is the best interest for the Miz to win. He has a thirst trap, whatever the fuck that means, and he walks off. So we get the call on Pat McAfee at ringside. We go to see Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode attack Dominic Mysterio backstage during the kickoff show. They had them knock him down. He got hit with a headbutt, kicked a few times, and they had this couch that had some covering on it. They pick it up and they throw it on top of him in the softest way possible. And we're supposed to believe that Dominic is so fucking hurt that he can't wrestle the next match. By the way, this was a Smackdown match. The first match was a Raw match. And I know we have been, me and everyone else have been complaining about Adnan Virk being on commentary and how just atrocious he's been. It was more egregious. You could just tell tonight. Because, yeah, you have Monday, and then you have all the way to Friday, so you have that time in between to settle down and don't have to, listen to Adnan Virk. But going from Adnan Virk to Pat McAfee on the same night made it more obvious that Pat McAfee is the better of the two, and that Adnan Virk needs to be removed from Monday Night Raw. Now, it's not all Adnan's fault, in my opinion, that people are complaining about him on commentary, because, quite honestly, the dude was just plucked out of his job, whatever he was doing, and was brought in to be the main guy on Monday Night Raw. It's a bad look for him, and it's not really fair to him, just because that's how WWE likes to do things. And honestly, if I was him, I would definitely want to go back. Adnan Virk should have been working on NXT, doing some stuff in NXT, joining Beth Phoenix and whoever and Wade Barrett down there, and getting the experience in NXT. I know NXT fans probably wouldn't want to see that, but he should be there because it's not as big of a show. He's on the flagship show, and he just sounds awful. It's like, welcome to Monday Night Raw. It's just like, you start the show up, and you want to go to sleep. And again, it was much more egregious tonight, just from listening to Pat McAfee and how good he is on commentary, and just, it's like night and day, just night and day. So we have a tag team 2-on-1 handicap match to start the match. Rey Mysterio just goes after both guys. They beat he's a house of fire from the start, but of course it's a 2-on-1 handicap match to start, so it's not going to work out in the end from him for the most part. He's getting beat up. He does fight as much as he can, and then of course, did you really think Dominic wasn't going to come in to help his father? And the sad part is, WWE, I know when we watch these things, one thing that sucks about crowds is that when a moment like this happens, the crowd ruins it because they react, and something's going on. Somebody's coming to the ring. Somebody's making the save, or somebody's making a surprise. It's like a surprise attack or something. And what do you know? Dominic comes in, and he's on the apron, and his dad's sitting there. He's like, "What are you doing, son? What are you doing? You're hurt." And I'm like, Ray, I'm pretty sure you're more hurt right now than he could be from that weak ass attack earlier in the show. Like, you just went through 5-10 minutes of just getting beat down by two guys. Of course, he doesn't tag in immediately because Robert Roode and them still have the upper hand. Of course, he does eventually tag Dominic in. He was hesitant, of course, because actually he didn't tag Dominic in. He was hesitant. He ends up falling back into his corner, and Dom says, "You know what? I've had enough. Tag it in." So Ray's like, "What the hell are you doing, man? We have a chance to win the tag titles. You're going to screw it up like that?" Of course, you know how this was going to go. You know how you can tell a team's gonna win the tag team titles? It's like, you know how a single star or a tag team wins the tag team titles or the world title? Have them get beat down in the back earlier in the show. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Ziggler launches Dominic into the ring post, shoulder first, as Ray watches. Rude yells at Dominic's face. Ziggler is tuning up the band, but Dominic comes up with his own super kick. They're both down. Ray and Rude tag in Ray with the top rope senton, then a shot to knock Ziggler to the apron. Rude catches Ray with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker for a close 2 count. Rude is now just frustrated. It was 2-on-1 for the bulk of this match, and they just could not put this guy away. And now it's back to even. He grabs Ray by the waist and talks trash to Dominic. Ray blocks a powerbomb, fights free, sends Rude into the turnbuckle, then hits a 619 in the corner, not in the middle of the ropes, but in the corner. He tags Dom in, goes out, slides on the rope, goes for a sunset bomb on Ziggler, which looked absolutely bad. He goes up top, Dominic does. Big frog splash that was snug as can be. There was no bounce to this guy. He just hit him and just landed on him in no move whatsoever. 1, 2, 3, and we have ourselves new tag team champions. And they are the first ever father-son tag team champions in WWE history. Which, again, I am really surprised that was not Vince and Shane. For the simple fact is, it just seems like that's something WWE or Vince McMahon would have done back in the Attitude Era. Oh, why don't I just give me and my son a week reign as a tag team champions? That sounds like a good idea. But no, surprisingly, that did not happen. And here we are now with the first ever tag team champions to be father and son. I mean, of course, we have brothers with the Usos. And that one time when Edge and Christian were supposed to be brothers. But yeah, tag team champion, father and son. Congratulations to the new tag team champions. Now, they're going to hold on to these titles for a bit. When Jimmy and Jay get their squabbles done and everything else, it'll be time for the Usos versus the Mysterios for the tag team titles. Of course, the Usos are going to win. They're behind the New Day in a couple tag team title runs that they need to catch up. And that match will be fucking fire. And I really fucking hope it's at SummerSlam. Ray and Dominic need to hold the titles till SummerSlam. In front of a crowd, and give us Jimmy and Jay the Usos versus the Mysterios in tag team action for the tag team titles. They can go through the Alpha Academy. They can get the Dirty Dogs into the tag team title rematch. We have 2 pay-per-views to go, so they gotta get some tag team title defenses going until we get to SummerSlam. But Usos versus the Mysterios at SummerSlam, and that match will be fucking fire. And then we see John Morrison walk to the Lumberjacks locker room, opens it up, and it's zombies. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's fucking zombies, because the sponsor for the show is Army of the Dead, and we have to have zombies. He walks away, shocked and confused, but gets to close the door, and the zombies start walking out of the room. Jimmy walks in the room to Roman's locker room and finds Jay. Says should be on the locker room door with Roman's. He says they're going to get their own locker room with the Smackdown tag team titles. It's not going to be as good as this one, but it's still going to be our locker room. And you shouldn't be carrying Roman's bags. They argue a little bit until Roman walks up, and Jimmy says he just wanted to wish Roman good luck, champ. Turns around, walks away as Jay and Roman look on. John Morrison catches up with the Miz and tells him about the zombies. Miz tells him to snap out of it. He's just in his head. This is about embarrassing Damian Priest. They walk off, and we see a bunch of zombies walking through the backstage area. Then we have the Lumberjack match. The Miz versus Damian Priest. But this is not just any Lumberjack match. This is a Army of the Dead zombie Lumberjack match. And I just wanted to turn it off, leave, and never fucking come back. This was pathetic. Good thing is it only lasted about 7 minutes. Gist of it is, they have a match, don't really give a shit. I don't like lumberjack matches. I really don't like zombie lumberjack matches. Then, Morrison, well, Miz and Damian Priest are both out on the floor. They start fighting the zombies. Okay, sure, whatever. Now, they're back in the ring. Morrison gets up on the apron, comes back in, runs in. Which, by the way, the commentators had to leave the ringside area because they had safety concerns due to zombies. Which, what was preventing the zombies from getting in the ring? May I ask that? Zombies, real zombies, would not give a damn about no fucking lumberjack match. They would come to the ring, they would get in the ring, and they would kill and eat everybody around. Now, Morrison gets up and attacks Damian Priest to try and help Miz win. He gets back down and he starts fighting a zombie. Gets on the barrier. Looks like he's gonna do something. When zombies pull him down, it looks like they ate him alive. Back in the ring, Priest hits the lights. 1, 2, 3. The zombies start coming into the ring, and it was kind of funny because the referee's like, "I'm the fuck out of here," and he's out of dodge. So is Damian Priest, and the zombies cover Miz and look like they're going to eat him. What you want to bet? Miz is back on Monday Night Raw tomorrow as if nothing fucking happened. This is what we get. I don't care what your sponsor is. I don't give a shit. I do not need fucking zombies on my motherfucking TV show. What the fuck was that? Who thought this was a good fucking idea? Because I'm telling you right now, I sure as hell didn't. I don't think anybody should have thought that was a good fucking idea. That was pathetic. That was stupid. This was just a pain in the ass. The fucking Miz and Damian Priest feud should have ended at Wrestlemania. And now you had zombies, because why the fuck not? And you know what's funny? AEW did Blood and Guts 2 weeks ago. They had the War Games pay-per-view, War Games type match, and it was absolutely barbaric. It was bloody as hell, and people in WWE didn't like it. Well, and the brass didn't like it, because to them, it set the business back 30 years. But yet you pulled out zombies. Fucking zombies. This shit wouldn't have worked in the 80s. This shit wouldn't have worked in the 90s. This shit wouldn't have worked in the 2000s. This wouldn't have worked in the 60s. Why am I watching fucking zombies on one pay-per-view in 2020 fucking 1? This has got to be the dumbest thing that I have seen so far this year. And it's only fucking May. What else are they going to do this year that is going to make everything worse? I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. This just really pissed me off. Priest wins. They got 8. Miz gets 8. Lights go out. We go to break. Back from break, Jay catches up with Jimmy backstage and yells at him for bringing distraction to Roman Reigns tonight before his big title defense. Jimmy wonders if the sign on the door should say Roman Reigns and his bitch. And he walks off as Jay just has a water bottle and just throws it down in disgust. I don't know what they're going for, but I know eventually they're going to get back on the same page, because that's just what happens with these guys. Would I want to see Jimmy versus Jay? I mean, why the fuck not? I mean, what else is new? But eventually they'll be back together. Smackdown. Now let's get to some real wrestling again instead of that garbage we saw about 5 minutes ago. Bayley versus Bianca Belair, Smackdown Women's Championship title match. This was Bianca Belair's first title defense. Why she's facing Bayley, I don't know. Bayley, yes, is fucking good. And tonight she just showed how much better she is than Bianca Belair. And how Bianca Belair still has a long way to go. And honestly, you give Bianca Belair the moment at WrestleMania, that's fine, whatever, whoop-de-doo. But she's definitely not there yet. And Bayley outclassed her in this match majority of the time. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's just how things go. But who was going to win this match? Simple. Bianca Belair. Now, there were some good moments in this match. Of course, I so wanted to see the hair whip that happened at WrestleMania happen here, because I guarantee you it would sound even worse in an arena with no fans. But yeah, Bayley tried to use the hair. She did a ripcord with the hair and got her into a Bayley to belly, which that was fucking interesting. 1-2 kick out. Belair goes up holding her eyes because Bayley scratched her what the referee blocked, so he couldn't see. She grabs Belair's hair, taunts her with it. She uses her hair to yank her into a belly to belly. Close 2 count. She steps up and smacks Belair on the back of the head, then talks some trash. Belair blocks the rose plant, uses her own hair, wraps it around Bayley's legs. 1, 2, 3. She gets the pinfall. The problem is, I'm pretty sure Bayley kicked out. I'm pretty sure she kicked out. But what are you gonna do? It's not like you're gonna be able to do anything about it. It's done. It was supposed to be the finish. I'm sure it'll be on Botchamania, so Matthew's gonna have some fun with that one. Back from break, we have MVP talking with Kevin Patrick. He knocks Braun Strowman for being unable to make business deals last week. He goes about not being worried about the WWE Championship match, which is our very next match. Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre, WWE Championship. Vince McMahon loves big beefy men. Vince McMahon loves big beefy men. Sing along with that one, boys. Because, yes, as Vince McMahon stated once when Finn Balor wanted a Universal Championship match against Brock Lesnar, Vince McMahon was in the ring with him and about 5 other guys, and the guys were bigger than him, and he's like, you can't beat all this beef. Yeah, this was 3 beefy men going out there, beating the hell out of each other. We had I don't know why they love to do this, but halfway through the match, Bobby Lashley gets thrown through the back area of we're on the stage, and you have the Thunderdome crowd. And right at the front is some LED boards. They're fighting on the LED boards. Bobby Lashley tries to do something to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre counters it and throws him through the LED board where the stands are at. He goes to look over, and Bobby Lashley has just done some magic because he has disappeared. So it's Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre for the majority of this match. So they go into the ring, they beat the hell out of each other. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore. Bobby Lashley comes in out of nowhere. We don't even know where the fuck he went to. Throws Drew McIntyre out. Hits a spear on Braun Strowman. 1, 2, 3. The match was better than it had any right to be, but that finish sucked. Like, are you serious with this one? That's the best you could do? Was give me Bobby Lashley hitting a spear on Braun Strowman after being gone for half of the match, it seems like. Just wow. But yeah, Bobby Lashley wins and retains, as he should have. There was no reason to have anybody else win this match. And of course, who took the pinfall? Braun Strowman. He was going to win. So, yeah. That is all you had to say about that. So, then we had the main event. Cesaro versus Roman Reigns. The match that everybody had been looking forward to. Could Cesaro win the Universal Championship? Was there a chance in hell that he was going to even come close to winning the championship? No. Everyone knew he was going to win this match. It was obvious from the start. But did they give you some thoughts thinking, yeah, this guy, Roman can, what I want to say, not Roman, but Cesaro could do it. Cesaro could actually do it. And there was a couple times, and there was a big story thread in this, is that Cesaro, got injured. His arm got injured early on. So, that was a target of Roman Reigns. He even put him in a Fujiwara bar later on in the match. Of course, Cesaro broke out of that. Cesaro was fighting out of everything Roman tried to put him in. And Cesaro, no swing, unfortunately. Cesaro did not swing Roman. Unless I missed that, because I didn't see him swing him at all, which is kind of weird. I mean, they built the whole entire WrestleMania match between Cesaro and Seth Rollins on swings. He's the king of swing, but he didn't try and swing Roman Reigns. I guess Roman didn't want to take the swing. But no UFO, which I was really surprised. I'm surprised they didn't have a UFO sighting in this match. That would have been interesting, because it was a big match. But yeah, Cesaro even had the sharpshooter on him, turned it into a crossface. He was doing everything and anything he could. No Jimmy, no Jay, none of that stuff, because Jay was in the back hyping up Roman for the match. Jay said but. Like saying something and he said but. And Roman's like, you sound just like your brother. Why don't you go find him? And bam, that's what happened there. So, yeah, Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns, of course, gets on the guillotine. Cesaro fights out of it the first time. They have a little bit more of a match. He gets the guillotine on him again. Cesaro continues to try and fight. He actually got out of the guillotine for about half a second the second time. And then Cesaro just went out. And there was nothing left for him. He was done. He was out. And Roman Reigns retained in a hell of a match. Of course, Jey Uso comes out. He has a lathe with him. He puts it over Roman's head. And then he goes and beats up on Cesaro. Beats him up. Goes to go do a splash. Out comes Seth Rollins wearing, I don't even know what the fuck he was wearing. It looked like somebody took a white jacket and white pants and just threw a bunch of paint on it and splashed it everywhere. That's exactly what that was. Then he beats him up. He says, "What'd you think was going to happen? You only get done when I'm done with you." So, yeah. He grabs a chair, puts it on the bad arm of Cesaro, takes him over, and just pulls it back and throws his arm forward backwards, smashing it, and then hitting it with the stomp. And that looks like the match we're going to be getting at Hell in a Cell. And there you go. WrestleMania Backlash goes off the air. And that is that. So, Cesaro, not the Universal Champion. You knew how that was going to go. But, yeah, that is your WrestleMania Backlash. It was a decent show outside of the motherfucking zombies. Everything else was good. But here's the sad part about this. The Miz, WWE Champion, coming out of an Elimination Chamber. 2-3 months later, he is getting eaten alive by zombies. I can't even with this company. I cannot even. So, yeah. That is Backlash. Up to Hell in a Cell. Coming up in, again, 5 weeks. And apparently, obviously, the match we're going to get is not Roman Reigns versus anybody at WrestleMania, at Backlash. Which I thought it was going to be Roman Reigns versus Jimmy Uso, because that's the way it seems it's going. But it looks like it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Cesaro, Hell in a Cell. Which would be a damn good match. But what else can I say? Backlash. Every match hit except for that fucking terrible, what do you want to call it? WrestleMania. That terrible, shitty ass WrestleMania. That lumberjack match. Now again, the only reason I can see why they went with Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash, is because, hey, people watch WWE for WrestleMania, so why don't we go with WrestleMania Backlash? But it didn't work, I guarantee it. But that is it. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the Franz Club. Find me on twitch.tv/the Franz Club. Find me on Instagram at the Franz Club. And I will see you guys tomorrow for what will probably be another boring, pathetic, pedestrian version of Monday Night Raw. Until then, my name is Franz, and I'll see you guys later.